that's going to transform your life. And today we're going to be talking about a part of our life that is so important, and that is our body. Because I truly believe that health is wealth. And if we do not invest time in wellness, we will pay for sickness. So I am going to bring to you tonight a very special man that I was divinely connected with. My affirmation is always, I'm in the right place at the right time with the right people. And I literally was working out at the gym, this very expensive gym that I joined, and I had no idea how to use any of the equipment. And Spirit just said to me, ask this gentleman, he seems like a friendly guy, if he'll help you. And not only did he help me that night with tools and tips that have transformed the way I eat, the way I exercise, and the way that I love and care about myself, but I know that this man has a special mission that's going to help all of you. And so I want to formally introduce him. But before I do, you want to say hi, Travone?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Deborah. You're amazing. Thank you for this opportunity.
Show them
I'm
your
excited.
arms. No, I'm kidding. Show them your arms. I know, right? Now I made him blush. Okay, so I want to introduce you to my friend. I call him my friend, Travone Edwards. He has always been into health and fitness. He studied kinesiology.
Yes.
Yes, kinesiology at Cal State Northridge. He followed his passion in health and medicine and studied pre-med at UCLA. In Spanish, we call it UCLA, to prepare for med school while working full-time as a cardiovascular technician for the cardiology department at UCLA. He has a powerful and extensive background in health, science, anatomy, and physiology, plus hands-on experience working in the hospital, which really helped him refine his passion. He had a life-changing experience that caused him to study nutrition and get in the best shape of his life. And when you friend him on Facebook and you see these pictures, you're going to say, is he real? Is this body for real? I always touch him to make sure it's not like a mirage or something like that. He became a certified personal trainer, Tier 3 at Equinox Gym. And if you know Equinox, it has very, very high standards of training. He's also, which I think is even more important, a health empowerment coach. He decided to be on the proactive, preventative side of medicine rather than the reactive side of medicine. And his mission is to show people how to get healthy so that they can not have to go to the hospital and live long, healthy, and quality lives. Please help me welcome Travone Edwards.
Woo.
Woo-hoo, yeah.
Thank you.
If I had a studio audience, they would be like, yeah, oh my God, he's amazing. On Periscope, they'd be heart.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're so busy with all of your training clients. You don't just work with Equinox, you have your own private training clients and your health coach clients. And I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. You truly have transformed my life, and I want everyone to hear about your inspiration for transforming yours. Can you first talk about that life-changing experience that you had that led you to get in the best shape of your life and to help others?
Yeah, it's I worked in the hospital for 8 years, and it was I would say maybe it was a very eye-opening experience. It was maybe sort of, I would say, for lack of better words, a scared straight experience. And I was seeing the same conditions repeat over and over again, unfortunately, with hundreds of patients and even to the thousands of patients over and over again. And the common things that were happening was patients were informed. No one ever showed them how to eat properly. And as a result of that, their health would suffer greatly. And it was always happening around the same age range. We started hitting the age of 45, 50, and life starts to become very complicated very fast.
That's so young. And, oh my God, 45, 50.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so, and unfortunately, if it's neglected, we pay greatly for it. And our lives can become very, very complicated. And at that point, we're living in a survival state instead of a thrival state. And so
Ooh,
it
that's
just really,
tweetable. You're living in a survival state instead of a thrival state. Okay, tweet
thriving
that.
state, yes, yes. So I was, I had a patient that I met, and he actually gave me he gave me an honest testimony on just his condition and how he got there. And then it just let me know, like, you really can't take your health for granted. You can't take none of it for granted because our health is our wealth. And at the end of the day, that's all we have. No matter how much money we have in our bank accounts, if our health is not well, we aren't well. So that is our only true wealth. And so that's the only thing that we really have at the end of the day. We have control of our health. And so it lets me know that we have an opportunity to take control of that. And so when we start to feel better, we do better, we're more productive, we also can be more motivated in life and society. And so it says, like, okay, well, even if you start, if I bring it back to starting small, if I am grateful and I take care and value my health, the universe will reward me for the value that I'm placing on my health. And I will be able to do more and be more and become more. And so health is nothing to take for granted. And so I've seen that if I really invest in myself, then I have more to give to others. And I've always had a passion to help others. And so I decided to really just value my health. And I really seen the impact that it's had on my family, and seeing that culturally, African Americans, Latinos, 77% of them have cardiovascular disease. And cardiovascular disease is the number one cause of death in America. And
Oh my,
so it lets me know that I have opportunity to really take control of that, like now, and not neglect it. Because in my community, there aren't many healthy options. And I know that I have the opportunity to take control of my life. And so that's what I decided to do.
ooh, I love
And
that. And thank you for bringing in that statistic. You know, my mom's ex-boyfriend that she was with for 15 years, he passed away at 55 years old from diabetes. And the doctors were like, we were in the hospital, my mom and I, during the last moments of his life, and we were doing yoga. The nurses were looking at us like we were crazy in the hospital room. And the saddest part was the doctors was saying that it could have been prevented with diet. And I don't believe
yes,
in diet because I don't like that word diet. I want to
yes,
live. And we're
yes,
going to talk about the importance of words, but your
yeah, yeah,
realization that
yes,
investing in our health it's not just to look good, which you of course look amazing, but it's to really live a long life without having to suffer and pay for all of these medicines when we could just right now pay for organic food and be happier.
yes. And then, like, I think how we feel is the most important thing. We all want to look good and feel good. However, sometimes our habits are not in line with that.
Mm.
And so we're in a condition where we're always tired, we're not as motivated, and it doesn't really allow us to be the best parents we can be. It doesn't allow us to be as productive as we can be. And because we're actually sabotaging our own well-being, our own possibilities by putting things in our body that's really slowing us down versus fueling us to move forward. And one thing that I didn't get to share is when I was in college, thinking I was young and invisible, I I had a I was addicted to I love French fries, and I ate French fries and pizza almost every day.
No way.
I did. And one day I went to a health clinic and I got my blood pressure tested. And she tested it once and she tested it twice. And she said, "This is a little high. Like, what do you do? What do you normally do? When last time you been to the doctor?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I'm young. I don't need to go. Like, I should be fine." And then she's like, yeah, I think you should go see your doctor because this is a little high. Like, what do you normally, how's your eating?" And I was open with her, and she's like, "Okay, that's something you might want to be a little more careful with." And she just kind of told me in a nice way, but it was a scared straight. And I had to go and get a cholesterol test and my blood pressure test. And at that point, I was like, whoa, okay, I want to live to 100. I plan on living to 100. And at this pace, if I'm already exposing myself early at this age, then I can complicate my life very soon. And the thing is, we only get one set of arteries, right? So we have to take care of these to last us to live a good quality of life for at least 75 to 85 years minimum. And so it put me on track to say, okay, you know what? We have to like not really take things for granted and think you can just eat whatever you want irresponsibly and not pay any consequences for it.
It's so true. And as teenagers and even into our 20s, it's easy to think we can do whatever we want. But it does catch up to you as you get older in the decades. And that's, I think, why when I turned, I hate to admit it, but I did turn 40. I'm on the J-Lo program, so I can admit it, you know. I'm on the fine wine program. So, but when I turned 40, I realized, oh my goodness, this is my decade to look my absolute best. So I really need help. And so I turned to Travone for help. And one of the things I loved, or I do love, about Travone's approach is that it's a holistic approach. It doesn't just take exercising, working out, or it doesn't just take food. It doesn't just take, you know, self-talk. It's like all of it, and self-love. Can you talk a little bit about your philosophy for transforming your body from the inside out?
Yes. So I really practice this philosophy, and I share with all my clients, all my friends, everyone I work with is, you know, so we all know about the fitness aspect, and we know that also the nutrition aspect is important. And the biggest aspect, which is not really talked about, is mindset. So the philosophy is 20% fitness, right? 80% nutrition, because we eat more than we do anything else. All right. And so what we eat determines how we look, if we get unhealthy or healthy. And the last part was the 100% mindset, right? And that's the biggest component because our mind tells us what to do. Our mind is where we create the belief. Our mind is where we envision this. The mind is where we create the discipline. And so when we wrap our 100% mindset around this, we can accomplish anything. And so that's the first thing that I really like to take time with to get correct before we start this journey. Because otherwise,
say that one more time so people get it. About 100% mindset, 80% food. I couldn't believe it when he told me the 80% food. I literally thought it was 80% fitness. So I was working out 4 or 5 times a week and not getting any results. Well, I didn't get no results, but I was probably maintaining my weight is what I was doing, keeping myself from running amok. But I wasn't seeing the results, and it was making me frustrated because I thought, oh, working out doesn't work. But it doesn't work unless you have the 80% food. But when you said 100% mindset, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that?
Okay, yes. So the mindset component is the biggest component because it's what we're focusing on. It's what this whole thing is wrapped around because we have, number one, like before we even start this, we have to really know what we want, right? Because we can say I want to lose 5 pounds, supposedly, right? So we can lose 5 pounds in water. Okay, we lose 5 pounds of water, then what? So now we have to get more clear. What do we want, right? Because clarity is power. So do we want more toned arms? Do we want a flatter stomach? And so now we're starting to get some clarity, right? And so it's less fog there. So now we can see where we're going. Okay, I want this, and then that way we can start working towards what we want. And then now we get a strategy going. And so that is the most important part in having the right strategy because you can't outwork a bad diet. And we have to make sure our body's getting the proper protein, the proper amount of carbs, the proper amount of hydration. And so a common thing that I see is the mindset because there's a lot of urban legends about fitness. A lot of urban legends have us believing that we should just work out and just eat vegetables or just work out and eat fruit. And those things are just fibers and,
or no carbs,
and sugars.
Or all protein or this.
Yes. Yes. So when I like to talk about the 100% mindset really quick is number one, two, we have to really believe that it's possible for us. So the thing is that happens is when we don't believe it's possible, then we start committing self-sabotaging behaviors. We work out and we undo it right after the workout. We work out and we validate a cheat meal. And so those are all self-sabotaging behaviors. And so we have to get in the mindset of I deserve this. It's possible for me. I'm clear on what I want and I can get it done. And
Oh, wait, hold on, no. Pause. So believe it's possible. I want people to write this down. Like, believe it's possible. I deserve it. And what's
I
the third
deserve
one? What's the third one?
So yes, and we have to also get clear on what we want.
Okay.
Get clear on what we want, because like I said again, clarity is power. And so when we start to do this, we start to believe, right? When we start to, number one, be disciplined and clear on what we want, we start to believe, right? And when we start to be disciplined, that means we start a habit, right? And we got to start that habit. And when we get to start that habit and be consistent with the habit, we'll allow ourselves a chance to see a result, right? And so the thing is, we have to allow ourselves a chance to see the result, but most of the time we don't. So that's a key component, because once we start to see the result, it creates more belief, and we see that it's possible. And then we see the momentum going, where we start getting closer and closer to where we want to go and what we want to do. And so that's a really, really, really big component. And I will talk definitely more about that in a little bit. But that is like something that's really, really key. And so the mindset component is when we go for a workout, because number one, this is for our health and well-being, because fitness affects every part of our life. Every part of our life. We're human beings. We're meant to move. Majority of us sit at our desk 90% of the day, right? And so that's not, life is motion, right? It's not a lake, right? We're in motion. So like, we have to understand that that's how energy is produced. That's how we're at our best. And so what I want to get back to is like, that's really like the key. So when we say I'm going to work out, that's like we're making a promise and a commitment to ourselves, right? And so that's a really, 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 really big deal. That's a meeting that you're setting with yourself. And when you miss that workout, you're letting yourself down. You're telling yourself, I don't believe. You're telling yourself, I don't worth it. I'm not worth it. You're not loving yourself. And when we create this continual habit, we start to build up this momentum of, I'm not worth it. I don't deserve it. I don't love myself. And those are quiet conversations that are going on in your head, because you're letting yourself down, and you're creating this disbelief and continual action of not following through. And so that affects every part of your life. And so we have to create that follow through in our mind of, I deserve it. I'm going to go work out. I love myself. Because the biggest component of all this I've seen is majority of us do not honor our commitments to ourselves, right? We'll go to our boss and give them 8 hours a day. But if you say, go give one to yourself, we won't do it. We won't do it. And if it takes just a little bit of loving yourself to make a salad, we won't do it. It's for you, right? And not anyone else, for yourself. We don't do it. And so that is such a big component. Like, so the number one thing is, I encourage everyone is to love yourself more.
I love that. And that, love yourself more. And that's what really attracted me to work with you as a trainer, because, you know, I had been on my first diet since I was 8 years old. I don't even know if I told you this, you know, and I was 10 pounds overweight or whatever. But to me, losing weight and that whole thing was very punitive. And exercise was a way, it was actually what I had to do. It was like a punishment because I wasn't skinny. Like, I had to work out because I wasn't skinny. It wasn't like a pleasure of loving myself. It was a punishment because I wasn't at the right size or the right weight. So one of the things that you've taught me is that I'm choosing to do these things because I love myself and because I'm worth it, not because I have to and I need to and I'm not good enough. What you say to me, and what I hear from you saying to everyone else, is it's about being in integrity with our soul. Because T. Harv Eker, the author of Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, says, how we do something is how we do everything. So when we show up, right? When we show, and that's what we get along because we read the same books. When we show up for our commitments for our workout, we show up for our commitments for improving revenue. We show up for our commitments for other areas of our life for growth and development. But if we don't have self-love for ourselves, we don't have self-confidence, how can we have better relationships? How can we have more money? And how can we have a better life, which is what everyone wants? So I want to talk about, one of the things that you do, which is very, very unique that I really appreciate. I had asked him how to do something, and I just wanted to know how to, I don't know, work my butt, get a bigger butt or something, like get a firmer butt, J-Lo butt. And he's like, you need to be mindful. And I was like thinking, oh my God, I was thinking I was going to listen to music and just tune out. And you were telling me to tune in. Can you talk about your approach to exercise and mindfulness? Because your physique is like amazing. I know you get stopped on the street 10 times a day by men and women that are like, how do you do that? So I want you to talk about that mindfulness and the results that you get because of it.
Yeah, so when you think about your body, right, it's yours, right? It's your masterpiece, right? You have to live in it every day. You have to wash it. You have to groom it. We have to perfume it, everything. So this is your masterpiece. This is it. And so take care of it like that. Love it. Connect with it. So when you're working out, it's really about connection with you. Sometimes we think workout is just like going through the motions. Let me just get through this and get out of here. What? Like, and I tell people like, no, slow it down. Slow it down. It's okay. This is the time to get in tune with your soul. Connect with your body. So when you're lifting the weights, and you're working out on the treadmill, like you're really breathing, like you're connecting, you're listening to your body, you're loving it. And so the key part is like you have to like learn to fall in love with the process. And so when I tell fall in love, yes, fall in love with the process. This is your masterpiece, right? And so love it, and your body love you back. You gotta remember, like our thoughts, like is what we're telling the universe when we're working out. When we're doing this, like, okay, I love myself. You'll see the harmony of like someone who's really like loving their body and loving their workout. Sometimes society makes us feel bad for loving ourselves. No, love yourself. It is perfectly okay. I encourage it times 10. Love yourself. So when you're working out, I tell everyone like be engaged with what you're doing. Be engaged, connect. This is a mind muscle connection. So it's not about how much weight you lift and nothing like that, or going through the motions. No, feel yourself contracting the muscles as you push in and bring it back. Flex and extend. So I tell everyone, make sure that you're connecting, you're feeling the movements that you're doing. Don't just go through the motions, but really feel the concentration and the contraction of the muscles when you release it and relax it. Feel that through everything you do. And also feel yourself breathing. When you're pushing out or flexing, breathe out, and you're releasing, breathe out. And so those are something I really tell you, and like I share with you, the mind muscle connection is the key. It is the key. Feel what's going on, and that really is it. And take the time to do it. It's worth it. You'll get double the results in less than half the time if you're really making sure your muscles contraction. There's intensity going on.
I love that. So the intention, because so much of being overweight, I know for myself, it's a self-hatred thing. It's like I'm upset because something didn't go my way, so I'm going to eat this bag of chips or I'm going to eat these cookies, right? It's a punishment. So when we're doing the healing and the restoration of our body to our natural state of health, of vitality, of sexiness, whatever you want to call it, that is absolutely who we're meant to be, but we can't get back to our natural state from hating ourselves. We can only get back to ourselves from loving ourselves. So one of the things, remember when we were working out last time, I call it playing out, by the way. I don't call it working out because I don't want to work. I want to play. Even when I go to work, I don't have a job. I have a joy. Everything I do is love. And I don't know when I don't know when I'm on vacation, when I'm not on vacation, because everything seems so fun. But you were doing affirmations with me. Remember we were doing those step-ups and you were saying,
Yes.
What were we saying? Tell them.
Yeah, so it's important to really, I think it's so important to build belief and create good feeling energy and good feeling thoughts when you're working out. Those good feeling things, they feed the soul, they feed the spirit. And so I'm like the king of, I call myself of mantras, and some of it can be considered as corny, but like it's effective. So like I've heard from a lot of great speakers, even when you walk or you work out, you're saying mantras like every day and every way I'm getting better and better. Every day, every way I'm getting better and better. Every step you say I'm getting closer to my goal. I'm getting closer to my goal. And you'll see how when you're doing this, it just builds so much belief and so much confidence. And you tell yourself, I love myself. I love myself. I'm getting better. I'm getting better and better. I'm taking the time to love myself. I matter. And so tell yourself these things when you're working out, and you create the joy because you're creating that connection with your spirit and self. And sometimes we act like we believe working out is a task. No, actually, you're fueling your body. You're refining your temple because your body is your temple. And so tell yourself, like, definitely self affirmations of, like, I'm amazing. I am powerful. I'm loving myself. Every day I'm getting better and better. Life is getting better and better for me. Every time you eat, speak this good energy to your food. This food is going to nourish my body. It's going to strengthen me. It's going to beautify my temple. And so I tell people too, eat beautifully to create a beautiful body. Eat colorful foods, greens, vegetables, strawberries, fruits. Eat beautifully to nourish a beautiful body.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love what you said before. I want to reiterate it, that my body is my masterpiece. So everybody say that. My body is my masterpiece. When you realize that you are co-creating it through your thoughts, because he said mindset is 100%, through your actions, 80% eating foods that nourish, fill you up, the colorful foods, and then the 20% of the exercise. And one of the things that you taught me was to add more weight training, because I was just doing pure yoga, only yoga, like 4 or 5 times a week, and you encouraged me to do more. So I want you to talk about that. But there was one more thing you said about affirmation. Oh God, I lost it. So you do the affirmations all the time. Maybe, Travone, you should make an affirmation audio program.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be cool to work out? So there's like some great music, and then I hear you say every day and every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Every muscle I'm present. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, that's what you say. I wanted to tell you. You notice how he smiles a lot? You know why he's smiling? Not just because he has good teeth, but because he says it burns more calories.
Yes, when you smile, it burns more calories. Remember that. I love it. That's one of my favorite ones. I tell that to all my clients. Remember to smile, you burn more calories, because it's important to create that joy and smile during the process because you're loving yourself. You're loving yourself. Because unfortunately, I can't do this for anyone, but I can do it with you. So it's important to do that for yourself. Smile and burn more calories. Definitely create joy while you're doing this.
Love it.
Joy is important.
It is so important. So let's talk about some specifics, because I know
Yes.
some people really want to know some of the nitty gritty because you've studied so much, not just as a trainer,
Oh, yeah.
physiology, anatomy, everything. So let's talk about eating to get results, because your people get freaking results, and I know it's because of what you're teaching them. So how should we eat and how should we work out?
Okay, so I'll give a simple breakdown. So number one, water is your best friend.
I got it. Water, right?
So 70% of the water, of your cells, your muscles, everything is water. And so it's something around this magic number of 70% or half your body weight in ounces, where when we have that level of hydration, our body, we optimize our metabolism, we optimize the efficiency of our body. Because whenever our body's in deficit, it doesn't perform at its best. It actually holds back because it's in a preservative state. And so to keep it simple is, when your body has enough of everything, then it's going to release. So if we're not drinking enough water, our body's going to hold on to the water because it don't know when it's going to get enough. It don't know if it's going to get any more soon.
So
but however, the more water we drink, the more water we release, actually. So because you have to think about, your body has a preservation system where when we're eating salty foods, your body hold on to more water to neutralize the sodium levels. And so that's how we keep ourselves comfortable and keep our kidneys safe and things like that. So if you're not drinking enough water, that could be the reason why maybe you're more bloated than you typically are, or you can be. We can carry 10 pounds of bloat easily. Our waistlines sometimes are more bloated than actual body fat or body mass. It's usually just water weight. And so that's why it's very important to make sure you're drinking water. So that's a really, really big key. So every morning when you start your morning, the first thing that you want to do is you want to drink water, right? And I learned this from the doctors. You want to drink water every morning, first thing when you get up. Because when you drink your water, you actually, you start the engines. Your body's metabolized and it says, okay, we're running. It's like you hit the light switch for the body. And so when we hit this, it allows our body to optimally metabolize everything that happens after that point. Okay, so we activate the receptors, our digestive tract, everything once our body gets hydrated in the morning because we're breaking a fast. So if we went to sleep at 11 p.m. and we don't get up till 7 a.m., that's like 8 hours of fasting. Your body burns at least to a liter and a half at night, just metabolizing everything that you ate throughout the day, just getting you back in track. So we want to start that. Then we want to our first meal of the day. We want to have some sort of we want to have protein and just a little bit of carb. We want to have protein to start to fuel the lean muscle mass. Keeps us from it keeps our metabolism at its peak, and also it keeps our body lean. So when we have the typical American diet, is we wake up in the morning, we have carbs, which is some type of donut, some type of muffin. And if you ever look at those, like that's not really associated with fitness or healthiness. It's not because those carbs turn into sugar and sugar turns to fat. It's like lighter fluid. Like
All the
so,
time? Like 100% of the time?
yes, those
Always?
carbs are lighter fluid. Carbs are your energy source for the body. So we have to keep that clear. All right. And so protein is definitely going to keep us fuller longer and it's going to fuel our metabolism. That's what we want. So you want to have a protein-based breakfast every morning.
Travone says bread makes you spread. That's why.
Yes, 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 yes. And so it's typical because like my story is I was working full time at the hospital and I was always busy. So most of the time what I did was I had venti pie roast and I had a scone or a muffin or just some oatmeal. And I would notice, so I noticed over the course of months in the first year, I put on extra 10 to 12 pounds that I normally wasn't there. And it was like in my face and my stomach. And I said, this is not me. What's going on? And I really took a look at my nutrition and I got introduced to nutrition programs and on a proper way to eat. And it completely changed my life. It completely changed my life. I dropped over 10 pounds of body fat, dropped my body fat from like 13% to down to 6%. I've been maintaining it now for 3 years.
What
And
percent? What percent?
making small changes just from making my breakfast was a game changer for me. What I have for breakfast every morning. And most people, as I got to know them and just being more aware in the hospital, most people skip breakfast. They don't have time. And make time for that. That's the most important meal of the day. It's not set for like no reason. It's called break fast. You're breaking your fast. So if you don't have your first meal till 11 o'clock, you're on a 12-hour fast since like your last meal possibly. And so your body's in deficit. It's in deficit. So you want to definitely fuel your body, fuel your metabolism. So back to what I was saying, we want to fuel our body every morning with hydration, then a protein-based breakfast. We want to have a protein-based snack 3 hours after that. And that could be something like Greek yogurt with some trail mix, perfect combination. Or something like we can have egg whites with some strawberries or fruit, perfect combination. Then 3 hours after that, we want to have definitely another balanced meal. And so basically a carb, something like brown rice, chicken, and like broccoli, or a chicken breast salad. That's perfect to have for lunch. Then 3 hours later, which is like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we're starting to yawn and we're looking for the vending machine, we're looking for the snack drawer. That's when you want to give your body another lean protein-based snack to fuel you because most of the time our blood sugar is like this. It's spiking and crashing, and that's how our energy goes, just like this. And so we want to eat a high protein-based breakfast, and meals, so it's more level and streamlined. And that way our focus is there more streamlined, our energy levels, our mood is more streamlined. And so when we have that, then we're good. And then we'll go home from work. We're good. We had a protein snack before we left work, Greek yogurt. We had maybe a turkey sandwich, turkey slices, a wrap, something of the same nature. And something at least of like 15 to 20 grams of protein, the perfect snack for 5 o'clock. And then we have our dinner. 2/3 complex carbs, 1/3 protein. Complex carbs, brown rice, sweet potato, and combined with some type of green of kale, asparagus, broccoli, spinach, definitely superfood greens, and a protein, chicken, fish, turkey, or lean beef is definitely okay.
Wait, let me ask you a question. So when he says carb, just to clarify, he means complex carb. He doesn't mean
complex carb.
Before I met him, I was eating like pretzels and Diet 7-Up. And I thought, oh, it's just a light little meal, but oh my God, everything wrong, right? So complex carbs.
Yes.
So the
complex carbs.
brown rice, quinoa,
Yes.
sweet potatoes, those kind of thing. Not all carbs are created equal. And I went from
No.
eating like twice a day to eating 5 times a day, which I felt like this is so awesome. I get to eat all the time, where
Yes.
it's like constantly eating, but eating foods that, like he said, the proteins. Like for my snack, which I know it's approved, is the almond and the apple, or the blueberries and the walnuts, or some sort of yummy,
Yes.
yummy superfood that's so easy to pack for my busy lifestyle that I always
Mhm.
feel like I'm getting nurtured, nourished, and fed. And
Yes. Very true. And you want to keep those pack. You want to pack those throughout the day, or maybe pack them in the morning or the night before, so you always have them with you, and you don't end up eating, eating or having cravings or eating with your eyes, because if you're not, because success is prepared. You have to. We can't think success is an accident. No, it's through preparation, and so take that time to put those things in your house. The trail mixes, the Greek yogurts, the string cheese, the egg whites, things like that. Keep them in your house, keep them around, so you always have a healthy snack. And those protein-based snacks will definitely fuel your metabolism. When we eat things that are like simple carbs, like the bread and sugar, I tell everyone, I'm trying not to get a patent, but bread makes you spread. And so always definitely remember that these flour-based products, enriched flours, flour-based items, nutrition items, they too make us bloat. Yeast based, they make us bloat. And so definitely keep that in mind when you eat those. Those are simple sugars. All right. And so they're called, those carbs turn to sugar, and sugar turns to fat. So we're not active when we're eating those things. You're ready because most likely they're going to get stored. And
ooh,
so we
that's
want to definitely consume or stay around with slower burning carbs that can fuel us.
And I absolutely think that, like, I travel a lot doing, motivational speaking, and I'm at the airport, and that's usually when I smell the pretzels or whatever, that's in the airport. I just want to, and I used to indulge in that. And now I think about what you say, that if I take that because I'm going to be sitting on the plane for 5 hours, 7 hours, it's literally going to go right into my body. And it's just not worth it. It's like making
No, it's
choices
not worth it.
that it's not worth it. Making choices that love yourself, because that one little indulgence could take 3 weeks or a month to get off. It is not worth it. And when we go
Not
back to
worth
the
it.
beginning, that health is wealth and that we're investing in ourselves. Somebody said to me, my friend Carla, is that our body is our brand. So we're walking
It is.
around, and like you said, success leaves clues. And what inspired me to even get on this, besides turning 40, was looking at Instagram, and I would see all these bodybuilders, and for a long time they would post workouts, but then they started posting their food prep, and that just
Mhm.
was like clicked a light on for me. I'm like, wait a minute, these people aren't just naturally from working out getting like that it's really the preparation that's key. Can you talk about how you plan? I know you have like this big lunch thing that you carry because you're working sometimes 12 hours a day, and how you
Yes.
shop to make sure, and that you actually teach people how to cook on your Facebook. I saw some videos on there too.
Yeah. So, like, I like to, I don't like to make other people feel wrong
Good.
for their excuses or their so-called reasons for not holding for themselves, not following through on their goals. However, like, I've really learned that you have to really take the time to prepare for your day, and you have to prepare for your success. And everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. Everyone is busy. So it's busy not an excuse to let yourself down. That's what I want
Mm,
to get clear to everyone. I try to let that, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. We make time for everything else. So basically, it comes down to, where is it a priority for you? And so if your health and well-being or your fitness or the way you look is a priority to you, then you'll make time for it. You make time for everything else. You make time for TV. You make time for TV shows, everything else, right? So that is the key. And so what I try to do, or I try to encourage everyone to do, is, you want to try to, when you cook, try to cook for bulk, or try to cook for the next 3 meals. And so just something simple. So when I cook a pot of rice, right? And I cook a sheet of like 5 to 6 chicken breasts. And then I'll cook a pot of veggies of whether it's like green beans or peas or just have a bag of spinach. And that way, when I cook that one time, which may took maybe 30 minutes to cook some rice and chicken, I have at least 5, 6 meals ready to go. Ready to go. So when I'm on a go in a rush, I just grab 2 or 3 and I just pre-pack them once I make them, put some spinach or vegetables in there and go. And so that way, just make it simplicity because that's what it all comes down to. And if you prepare it and you're in a rush or your day is on a move, you can grab 2 out of there and go. You grab 2 of your snacks that you have already stocked in the refrigerator, your Greek yogurt, your veggies, or your fruit, and go. And so that way, you are prepared to succeed and to feed your goals and to stay on point. And so it only takes a few minutes. It doesn't take any longer to make any other meal. So that's what I really do. And like I bought something like a bag that I can carry at least 3 meals at one time when I'm gonna go and my snacks. So that way I still can stay in alignment with myself. And just one key thing is though, this is something that's really key and like I just want to get on it and get off of it. If you don't really, it's a common misnomer to say, oh, well, I only ate 2 meals a day or I only eat once a day. That is what we do not want to do. Number one, if you're not getting hungry, that means your metabolism is not moving.
Mm.
So we're eating healthy, we're eating high protein based foods and drinking proper amount of water. Your metabolism is going to be steady moving. It's like we're putting wood on a fire, and that's good. That's what we want. That means our body's breaking down matter and converting it to energy. That's all metabolism is. And so if you're not getting hungry, that's a sign. And so you want that. You want that regulation to take place. And also when we do not, or we only eat these 1 or 2 meals a day, we put ourselves in a more likelihood to acquire infectious diseases like diabetes and things, so we don't want that. So it's very important that we fuel our body with proper nutrition throughout the day because we make ourselves more susceptible to diseases down the line, such as like diabetes and things like that. And that's not something that we want at all because life becomes very complicated.
Yeah. Oh, so I have so many good quotes. I'm writing all of these down. You're busy is not an excuse to let yourself down. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. We could write a
You're
whole
worth
ebook.
it.
Yeah,
You're
you
worth
are
it.
worth it. We are absolutely worth it. So it's about preparing our meals and cooking in bulk and we can get on his Facebook page, Travone
And
Edwards,
there's
and you'll be able to watch him because I don't even know still to this day how to turn on my oven. I know I'm bad. And I actually ordered a food service that's been helping me because it was taking me hours and hours and hours to prepare my food.
yes,
So I
yes.
decided health is wealth. It's worth the investment in me to get the good food. And they're making me brown rice and everything. It's no sodium. Awesome. But it's absolutely the way you make it easy and you make it simple and you make it fun that I think I can do
Have
it now.
Yes, it's important that you have fun with this, and so you have to find your fun. And so the most common thing we think is that when we're eating healthy, we're withholding something or we're taking something away out of our life, and it's not
Surprising.
that. It's you're giving yourself more life, and give yourself be open to like what's possible or new tasting things or exploration of like how different foods taste. And that's very, very, very important. And so you're not going to miss out on anything. And so if eating healthy is going to serve to your benefit, then that's something that we want to take on. And so like that's why I encourage everyone, like I like partnering with Herbalife 24, like with their nutrition, it makes it so simple to get all the proper nutrients you need every morning that tastes delicious in a shake. And so because for the beginner, sometimes it's not easy to wake up every morning and start cutting up vegetables. If you've been eating a certain way for the last 40 years, it's not going to be an easy turnaround. And so that's something that I like to hit home with because like we want to make things as simple and ease into it. And so if I can say one more thing about that is Rome wasn't built in a day, and let's not try to build it in a day. So just start small. Start small. Start with just a healthy breakfast every morning and be consistent with that. And once you get consistent with that, then you will naturally going to have inclinations to want to have something else healthy or consistent with that. And just start with that. And then start with a healthy regimen, a walk 2 or 3 times a week. And watch how you start to be consistent with this. You'll allow yourself to see results, and it's going to feel you like nothing else. And you will feel great. You will look even better than you ever looked before. And you will start to feel good about what's happening. And you will see how that will start to spark a spiral of change. That'll be the spark that like start the blaze of fire. So that's what you want to happen, and just be consistent with small things first, because that's more attainable, and be consistent with that. And
And
once we do that, then we allow ourselves to see the best results.
And that reinforces your prior point about you have to believe that you can achieve it. Because there's nothing worse for those yo-yo dieters like me out there, that when you've done it a million times and you lost the weight and you gained it back, you lose that belief that it's even possible for you. But the way Travone explains it, you have small little incremental habits, and you could do hashtag consistency equals results. So it's not just a practice that you do once in a while. It's a consistent habit discipline. I like to call it blisscipline. Reverend Michael Beckwith, my mentor, says blisscipline, where you enjoy doing it, because who wouldn't want to live 10 years longer? You know, years ago, my grandmother and grandfather, lived to be, 60 and 70. And when I think of 60 and 70 now, those are the age of my parents. That seems really, really young. For myself and for you all, if you choose to, that we live to be a century years old. We live those 100 years, but they're healthy years. Nobody wants to live with the last 20 years of your life dealing with medicine and prescriptions and doctor's appointments. That is not the fun, vital way to live. And that's why I really believe what you're saying, because when we invest the time and the energy in loving ourselves now, we're going to be able to play so much more later on. Think about the last 30 years of our lives, and we could just vacation, and we can walk up to the Great Wall of China. We can walk around Europe, and we're not going to have that pain and the heaviness that comes from being overweight.
Yes, and that reminds me of a Jim Rohn quote, and that's something that I really believe in, which is personal development. Every morning is very important to invest or work on yourself. But Jim, just to piggyback on what you're saying, Jim Rohn says, like, we all must pay the pain of two costs, right? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Ooh.
The thing is, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons.
Ooh.
So, yes. And so we have a choice. We can choose the discipline or we can choose regret. The thing is, we have a choice. That's the most amazing part about this. We have a choice. And so we can choose basically to be happy and feel great, or we can choose to suffer the consequences of that. And so the thing is, our life, and we get to take charge of that.
I love it. Take charge of our destiny. And in fact, my book, The Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict book, right here, the first chapter of the book, I have to give you a copy of the book, is have I given you a copy of the book before?
No.
I'm going to give you
I heard amazing things about it.
I'm going to give you a copy of the book. It's called, the first chapter is about the power of choice, that every moment of the day we're making choices that are either going to improve our life or they're going to cause us to be a victim of our circumstances. But the power is we have the choice. So we're almost out of time because you're so fascinating, and I could talk to you forever. Hopefully you'll come back as a guest. Maybe you'll even co-host a show with me. I'd love that. It was such great energy. And that would be so exciting, right? So I want to just like one last question, and then we're going to find out where they can stay in touch with you. So what is the difference between, I'm sure you work with hundreds of people all the time. What is the difference between your clients that will get results or the clients that won't? What are some of the characteristics you see in the successful people and the people that don't make it?
The first thing it takes is commitment. And commitment is multifaceted, but when you're committed, it's I'm going to give 100% and I'm going to get 100% out, because you're only going to get out what you put in, right? Mm-hmm. You're only going to get out what you put in. And so that means is that, number one, you're saying, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do. And because I like to tell everyone, it's powerful to say there's a big difference between I want to look good, or I want to lose weight, and I'm deciding I'm going to lose weight. There's a big difference between the two. A lot of people want to make money, but it's a difference, or be uh, successful in a career, but it's a difference between saying I want this and I'm deciding to do this. So it's the power of decision that's really the key, and that decision affects everything as far as how you show up, your level of commitment, letting go of your excuses. And so those are really, really, really important things coming in from the start. And the commitment is the one huge thing. And the next thing is getting clear on what you want. Because if you're not clear on what you want, you don't really know where you're going. You're not excited. You're not really motivated. You're working in a fog because you're not clear. And so I encourage everyone to get clear on what you want. Get clear, take the time, and just, if you want to just feel better, get clear on that and get excited about that. If you want to be around to see your grandkids, your family, get excited about that. And so it's good to get clear, and whether you're clear as your why, which is the really big part of why we're doing this, that's a really big, big deal, because that's what's going to keep us honest at the end of the day. We got to have a why. And so those clients are usually the ones that have the best results, because that's holding them accountable to what they want, because they want to be here for their grandkids. They want to be around to live to 50, 60, 70. They want to look good and feel good. And so they want to be a better spouse. They want to be a better parent. And so those things are really, really a big deal. And so I just always encourage everyone from the start to get clear on why you're doing this and commit to it. Commit to yourself.
I love that. Make a commitment to yourself. Know your why. Why do you want to have health? Why do you want to have vitality? And it has to be that true core essence, not just to fit into your little jeans, but so that you can be available to make a difference in the world. I remember for me, just being able to wear a size wasn't big enough. I wanted to be, and I am, because it's an ing process I'm working towards. I want to represent the love for myself. When I step on a stage as a motivational speaker, people see me that I love myself enough to care about what I put in my body. You know, I can't be, to me, I can't be motivational if I'm carrying around extra that isn't serving me. That can't motivate others to really see the light that I want to bring. So how you
live is your message to the world. Your life is your message to the world.
And my light is the message to the world. All of our light, and our light can't shine as bright. There's density when there is extra on us. I like to call it extra. Extra.
Yes. Yes.
I can't tell you how many people were complimenting me on Facebook when I put the video up of my last speaking engagement. They're like, "Hey, Deborah, what have you been doing?" I'm like, "I'm on the Travone program." So how can people stay in touch with you, find out more information?
Okay. So yes, you can definitely reach me at first place, like to say, Travone Edwards, Travone Edwards at yahoo.com. Definitely, I'm always open to email any questions, customized programs, online coaching. I do it all. Also, Facebook.com under Travone Edwards. My page is open for viewing. I share all my meals, my workouts, and you can contact me directly through the email. And also, I'm on Instagram at sixpack6, the number 6 IXXPACK. And you can definitely message me or just follow my journey on there. And so I offer personal training one-on-one. I also do group workouts. I do nutrition planning and programming. And so whatever your goals are, I can definitely I can definitely show you how to achieve those goals. I've worked from a very wide range of clients. My greatest client has lost over 100 pounds. And it's just starting from there. And so it's all possible. I tell everyone, focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. All right. And so that's like the clearest thing, because when we focus on what we want, but we focus on what we don't want, we're creating conflict and we don't go anywhere. So just get clear on what you want, and let's focus only on that.
Yeah, he's a law of attraction trainer. You are going to love him. Don't you love him, everybody? I told him, I said, by the end of the call, everyone is going to love you as much as I do. You're just super lovable, hashtag super lovable. And because I don't know if
Thank
you
you.
can tell, he truly does this from the heart. He wants all of you
Yes.
to be successful. He wants you to live a vital and healthy life. And that's why I brought him to Transformational Tuesday, because it is my role to be an agent of transformation in this world. That is my mission. So I want to, on behalf of everyone that's watching this live and that will watch the recording, to thank you so much out of the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you. I know that you're training all the time, usually at this time, and you're taking the time out to just share your information is so appreciated. And by the way, I'm going to be working with Travone to have a YouTube channel. So stay tuned on his Facebook, because we're going to be putting up, this particular video is going to be on my YouTube channel and also eventually will be on his. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of which, I invite you to subscribe to Deb TV. It's www.deborahderaslive.com. I have a goal to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the summer, which for me is the end of September. So I'm at like almost 300 right now. So if you would please, if you enjoy this show, if you want to catch all of the programming every week, I have another amazing expert on different topics: spiritual transformation, emotional transformation, mental transformation, and physical transformation. So you can get it all. It's free. Deb TV, just click subscribe, that red button on your YouTube, and share it on your Facebook, share it on your Twitter. Let friends know. They do not have to live a life of sickness. They can invest in their health and well-being, because health is wealth. So I invite you to tune in every single week. We're here. I actually came back early from Miami. My trip was supposed to be till Tuesday, but I was like, wait a minute. It's Transformational Tuesday. I want to be awake and alive and alert for you. So I came back a day early, which I'm actually grateful for, because I had a chance to rest a little bit and rejuvenate. And so I feel really great about that. And I set up my meals, Travone. It gave me a chance to go to Whole Foods. So now I have my chicken and salad and blueberries and avocado. I like to eat blue and green. I like to wear blue and green. And so all my meals are already packed for my long 12-hour day tomorrow. So like you said,
Yes.
yeah, isn't that awesome?
And
I
then
learned that.
and then last time I seen you, you lost some inches in your waist as well,
I
right?
know. Oh my God, that was super exciting. I ran into him at Starbucks, which, by the way, he got me out of drinking crazy coffee into green tea. But I bumped into him at Starbucks, and I was wearing these pants that fit me. As a joke, I tried them on. I didn't think that they would fit me, because I haven't been able to work out as much as I would like, but I've been eating, and that's the thing. 80% I've been eating the right way, and so these freaking pants fit me. I was so excited. I was like, it's a miracle. It's a miracle, but it's not a miracle. It's whatever we put in is what we get out, right, Travone? I learned
Yes, that's
so much
correct.
for you. I took like 1,000,000 pages of notes. I'm going to be tweeting these, and I'm going to be hashtagging your name. He said, believe it's possible. Get clear in what we want. Know that you deserve it. Make consistency a habit. Love yourself enough. Be engaged. Use the mind-muscle connection. Your body is your masterpiece. Busy is not an excuse to let yourself down. If you want to get success, be committed. It's all about discipline. Oh my God, there's just 1,000,000 of them. So I want to thank you so much for being
Of
here.
course.
I want to invite all of you to please follow him on Facebook, Travone Edwards, on Instagram. Six Pack, what?
Yeah, on Instagram, the number six, IXXPACK.
Okay. So, and I want to remind you all, you can get more information about my live workshops and events on deborahderas.com. In fact, we have the streaming of Transformational Tuesday right on the website, so you can watch past episodes there as well as the YouTube channel. You could also get a copy of my book. I just was in Florida doing a book signing at the wonderful, cool conference, and it's Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict.